I just can't wait to come back and explain more because we got other things coming. I just have to be a little more patient.
Is there any hints you could give us? Hey, Danielle, thank you for joining us on this episode of Town Talk. Every time, just so you know, we have you on the show, people get really excited.
Awesome.
Because I'm just going to flat out ask you to kick off our conversation today. Can you spill the tea? No pun intended.
Yeah.
Because she's drinking tea there.
I'm drinking tea, and we got some tea in the news, that's for sure.
Right.
Recently, we have HTeaO. It's opening up over there near
Saw that.
the Loop. And that's big news, right? Because HTeaO is actually a Texas-based franchise. And that's one of the retailers that I've actually been actively trying to recruit to come to Victoria for the last few years. And so I think I mentioned this in the last episode, but development takes a long time. It takes years, a lot. And this is big news. This is exciting news. I know my staff is really excited because they've been wanting an HTeaO and looking forward to it for some time.
Aww.
I hate to say this, but very soon I will visit this establishment because I've never been to an HTeaO.
Honestly, me neither.
Yeah.
Wasn't there one in College Station, or am I making that up?
There probably is.
Yeah, someone brought that up in passing.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
And it's going to be great for Victoria, I think. A great addition. It's locally owned and operated by a franchisee that's here in Victoria.
That's great.
Which is awesome. And then we need more of that.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Don't we? Tell us a little bit about that. Are there any opportunities where they can learn more about how to become a franchisee?
Yes.
Is that still going on?
Absolutely. So we have hired consultants with Retail Coach, and they have all the connections with all the franchises. And every so often we have weekly or monthly updates, and they say, hey, this franchise wants to move, but we don't have a franchisee. And so we kind of have an ongoing list of potentials. Anybody can actually just call me, and I can share that list and then put them in contact with the actual franchise, and they could start working a deal.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, too, with Retail Coach, they'll either me or they will help find a location that will work best and be successful for the franchisee owner.
Right. So with franchisees, I've always been curious, and I thought, well, this is a good opportunity to ask. So to become a franchisee of a certain franchise, meaning you're going to probably run and operate the local business here in Victoria, what does that look like? What does that process even look like? I am completely green to this, obviously. I don't own a franchise. But what does that look like for people who might be interested locally?
A lot of times it varies depending on the franchise. But a lot of times you have to, they ask you to put up a certain amount of money, whether it be $50,000 or $100,000 to buy into the franchise.
Sure.
And then they help you, most likely, they help you with trying to find location. They help you with the capital costs of construction and things like that. But then there's certain agreements that you have to sign with the franchise to also, how long you're going to keep it up and running, and it's just a collaboration between the owner and the franchisee, the owner and the franchisee. So it depends. It really varies from franchise to franchise.
Cool. And I'm sure that's something they can easily look up. Like if I were anyone here is a fan of, I don't want to throw out some opportunities that might provide some competition, but I'll just say anyone loves food. So let's say a food joint that I wanted to run. You could just Google them. And I'm sure on their website itself, there's a section for franchisees interested in doing that. So anyway, aren't you guys going to host a workshop? I think Jesus had mentioned it in 2025.
We still want to host that workshop. Yeah, we're still working with Retail Coach to help us develop that.
Cool.
Hopefully we can get a panel of these franchises that are looking to move into our market, and then you'll have direct access with them then and there.
That's so cool.
Yeah, to ask them questions, maybe even cut a deal right there on site, which would be amazing.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, we're still working on the planning of that. Hopefully in the spring or maybe summertime would be a good time to have that workshop. Okay. So I'll be coming back with more information on that.
Yeah, no worries. I'm sure that's something. Do other cities do that, or is that kind of a thing?
I actually don't know. I don't know if other cities do that. But I do know that it is something that is important for our area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Well, cool. Thanks for spilling the tea. I'm being cheesy on that one. Well, okay. So we know HTeaO is opening by the time, I guess it is open.
Yep.
So by the time people listen to this episode, it's fully open.
Yep.
Check it out. Remind me where it's at. It's off Northeast Sacklands Parkway, and what is that cross street?
That would be John Stockbauer.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably want to take the Navarro exit to get over there because it's over by Sweet Fountains.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
So,
cool.
yeah.
I'll check it out. We should go get tea there.
Yes, we should.
And talk more about some of this stuff. So speaking of, what else is going on in your neck of the woods?
So another exciting opening is going to be Toasted Yolk, and that's also off of Zacklands, but closer to Home Depot. And that will be in February. So that's coming up very soon. They have a lot of brunch menu items, some fun drink menu items. And if you go to their Facebook page, you can like it and get all their updates on when they're going to open, what kind of specials they're going to be having, things of that nature. That's the same with HTeaO too, because they've been posting all kinds of neat little incentives and freebies and things on their page to really drum up the business and get everybody excited. So strongly suggest people go there, check that out.
Right.
So Toasted Yolk, and then what else we got? Long John Silver's is getting close to being done. We're getting, it's in the same location, but it is exciting that we're getting a new constructed Long
New
John
and
Silver's.
improved.
Yeah.
I used to go there as a kid, by the way. It was like a family thing, probably after church. I don't know, but I haven't been in years, so I look forward to checking it out.
Yeah, I love the little crunchies.
Yes. It's so funny. Me and my sister would get their little clams.
Yeah.
So random, but we would. Anyway, fun memories.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we've got, the fun part about my job is there are other things in the pipeline that I just cannot announce yet because there's a lot of things that have to happen before we can announce certain projects and new developments, new restaurants, or new entertainment places. And so I just can't wait to come back and explain more because we got other things coming. I just have to be a little more patient.
Yeah.
And then
us too. Don't worry. Our listeners, I'm sure too. We're always wondering anytime you come on, what is she going to share?
Yeah. So we got more of that. Oh, and I just remembered too, Starbucks, their second or technically third location, if you include the one in Target, is opening up in February as well.
February is a big month.
Yeah, off of Houston Highway.
Yeah. That's where the former, what
Corral.
was it? The Corral. I was going to say Cracker Barrel. My bad. It's on my mind. I wish. But yeah, the Corral.
Yeah.
That's what it took the place of. So if you're wondering where that's at. 3 Starbucks in town, if you haven't heard. So looking forward to that too.
Yeah. Seven Brews, another coffee establishment that is coming online. It's one of those, I don't know if you've seen them, but they're really small footprints and a quick drive-through. So it's I don't know how I can explain it, but it is just a really small footprint and it makes a quick service for people who need their coffee in the mornings or throughout the day.
Yeah. So that's cool. So lots going on in the pipeline. I'm sure behind the scenes, of course, we can't always talk about some of those, but I'm excited for when we can. Is there any hints you could give us?
No.
I was going to say,
I'm not good at giving hints because it'll just give it away.
Really?
Yes.
I feel like lately we've been getting, how about this? It's probably not a car wash.
Yeah, it's
or
definitely
a Mexican
It's definitely
taco
not a car
joint,
wash, and it's
though we
not,
love those.
Yes.
I don't think it's that.
Right.
Cool.
You are correct. It is not a Mexican food restaurant nor a car wash.
People keep bashing on that, and I don't understand it. It's like it's a free market, right? At the end of the day, it's a private business's decision. We can't tell them to come or to go. We wouldn't do that in the first place.
Nope.
Rude. But I really get excited learning about this topic with you, Danielle.
Yeah.
And obviously Jesus talked to me about it too. But when we were talking earlier about businesses coming and going, franchisees, it takes people's interest in a company to first off take on that responsibility, bring it to Victoria, or if you're an existing company, for them to identify Victoria. And can you talk a little bit more? Because I noticed there was some comments in threads in past episodes.
Yeah.
And even The Advocate, they do a great job covering some new businesses coming to town. And I saw one resident, I don't know if she wants me to call her out, but I really appreciated it. I'll just say that, who watched your episode.
Yeah.
And she put a thorough explanation about how there's certain data points that people businesses look for when they're coming to a community. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there again. That's important for people to understand that the city itself doesn't determine who comes here, but you're doing a great job at least marketing who could.
So, we are who we are, right? As a community, we have a certain set of different demographics. We have general knowledge of what our household median income is, how many people live here, and what their spending habits are, and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one that has that information. The businesses have that information, and that's how they justify their investment or not in this community. And all I can do really is just go and promote Victoria as a great place for them to bring their business.
Right.
Granted, I know the same thing that they know and, what our demographics are. And I just try to encourage them and create that good relationship with that developer or business person so that they can have an easy go of it when they build, their structure in town. And I can point them to the development services team who does a great job of the permitting and site plan review and things like that.
Right.
So, but at the end of the day, there are still developments that come, pull permits, and I didn't have any contact with them prior to.
Wow.
And which is great, right? We want to see Victoria grow.
Right.
And we want to see more and diverse restaurants. And I personally, along with everybody else, want to see some of that more entertainment coming into town. And so, I prioritize my focus areas, but at the end of the day, it's not my property, it's not my land, and it's not my money. And so they make those decisions on their own for the most part. All I got to do is try to look this way, get them to look this way.
Right. And kind of highlight to them what potential there is here in Victoria.
Absolutely.
I know last time Jesus talked about developable land and developable property and those sort of things. And that's obviously outside of your control too, but identifying that and helping bring it to their forefront. When you go to these conferences, when you go to these workshops and you network and, you talk to Aaron, I know he's an Gigamaggie. He's an Aggie and he works for Retail Coach. All those things combined. And then you've got the interest level of local business owners or potential future business owners too. Right. So all those things together really help infuse what Victoria could be in the private entity world, at least.
Yeah. And I would like to challenge the Victorians that, when you say you want X business here, because this, whatever town has it, look at that town and take in consideration what they have versus what we don't have when it comes to demographics and population, jobs, housing market. All of those things go into consideration, especially when we talk about the Costco's and the Whole Foods and the big groceries because, and I don't know if I can say this enough, but our market is saturated.
Yeah.
We are kind of an anomaly when a city our size, 65,000 roughly population, has 2 Walmarts, 2 H-E-B's, a Sam's Club, a Target, and all of the Dollar Generals. I mean, I don't recruit the Dollar Generals. They just come. They find the land. I didn't even know that Anchor Lumberyard was for sale.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then next thing I know that they're pulling a permit and they're underway with demolition. And so, granted, we needed a new Dollar General right there because the need is there.
The demand is there. Sam said it last time when she was talking here with you. She was like, well, I mean, if we're going to keep going there, then they're going to come. So, that's it.
You hit it on the head.
Yeah.
The demand is there.
Yeah.
People pay for the convenience of being only 2 miles away from getting your basic
I love
milk,
it.
eggs, and bread.
Haters. I love it. It's so convenient for me.
I'm just as guilty. Right?
Yeah.
Especially when you just got off work and you don't want to come back in town.
Right. Anyway. I like to wear my comfy clothes. Sometimes I don't want to go into H-E-B where everybody and their mamas is at. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So point in case back to the most recent post with the car wash coming in off of Houston Highway next to Chick-fil-A. Again, I didn't even know that property was for sale. And then next thing I know, they've got permits and demolition underway. I actually drove to Chick-fil-A one morning and I was like, oh, what's going on here?
Interesting.
So, there's some things that I don't even know about until they're starting to dig up the ground.
Right.
So.
Well, speaking of some of those, Okay, so let's say, it's out in the news or it's out publicly about a business that is decided to come and then, God forbid, but it does happen. They decide to not come at the end of the day.
Yeah.
What plays into that?
Oh gosh, there's a lot of different things that play into that. A lot of times maybe they didn't reach an agreement with the property owners on their lease terms. It could be anything. Maybe it's even something bigger and outside of our control that that the economy is experiencing, and maybe they just, weren't able to pull off the deal. I don't know. Because,
Right.
We're seeing it here, but when we talk about Red Lobster, Big Lots, Bed Bath & Beyond, I know it's easy for us to think, oh my gosh, Victoria is struggling because we don't have these anymore, but it's not the case. Those companies filed bankruptcy, and it didn't just impact us. It impacted several cities across the United States.
Right.
And a lot of times when I see those announcements, I think, gosh, that sucks.
Yeah. Agreed.
But it's not just us.
Yeah.
And it's nothing that we could have done
Yeah.
to really prevent that, because that is just the United States and its economy and how spending in those locations weren't.
It's a national trend.
Yeah, in their prime or
Yeah.
optimal. But I also see it as opportunity, right? Because now I've got another space that I can advertise for something different, right? When we want diversity in our retail, then we can take advantage of these opportunities and try to fill those empty spaces with something different.
For sure. And it's also an opportunity for those businesses to, let's say they're on the up and up and they're becoming more and more successful.
Yep.
That's great. That shows us residents that they're successful enough to come here and that they'll sustain that.
Right.
So anyway, good opportunity. Now I just want to give you the floor to talk about maybe some goals, vision, big picture stuff.
Yeah.
That maybe you're foreseeing, maybe in your conversations with other staff and council, I don't know, for 2025. Because we're still in January. And by the time this episode airs, I think it'll still be January.
Yeah.
So is there anything big that you're looking forward to this year? What are y'all striving toward?
Well, some of the things that I'm starting to get more involved with is housing. Because if we don't have people living here to shop at our retail and go eat out at our restaurants, and granted, we have a lot of people live here. Our retail trade area is over 200,000 in population. And we've got people that travel at least 30 miles to come do business here, get their groceries, medical services, et cetera.
Right.
So, but a lot of what this new retailers and the new restaurants like to see is that everyday business. And normally that comes from people that are from 5 to 10 minutes away, drive time. And so I'm getting more involved with our Housing Finance Corporation and learning more about that and how our development services team helps out with infill housing. There's a lot of opportunities with utilizing the Housing Finance Corporation for different incentives for making housing more affordable. And so learning more about that, learning more about setting goals for that board and that group, so that we can really utilize that better. And there's also another public facility corporation that we haven't really tapped into either. But the neat thing about that is that board makes revenue off of lease agreements. And so if we were to do like a mixed use development with a developer, we could create a deal where we incentivize the project and maybe we generate revenue off of a ground lease with this developer. And then that money gets set aside and it can only be used for certain things. Well, those certain things are pretty exciting because for public facility corporation, you can use it for parks and quality of life type things, which is really exciting. So looking to tap into that a little bit more and see how we can use that to help us out with.
What kind of areas, for example, just in case people are like, well, what does quality of life mean though?
Okay, so quality of life is more like if you want a new trail in the park or playground or, splash pad or any of those kinds of things. This would help fund that. It could even help with some of the programs and needs that the library needs because the library is quality of life. So those are a few things that it can help with.
Awesome. Very cool.
But yeah, really focusing more on housing. What does our current market look like and how can we make it better?
Nice. Well, there's some new housing development I know that was you're kind of inheriting, right? I've heard about Fish Pond, Enchanted Gardens, to name a few. Were there any others that you heard of or wanted to touch on that maybe has an update attached to it or new kind of in the pipeline?
So there is a new affordable senior living that's going to go up on John Stockbauer, and it's called the Victorian. And so they will start building probably later this year, hopefully, weather pending. And so, that's going to be another great addition to the city. It's just affordable living for seniors. And, Enchanted Gardens is doing really good. We have, you know what? I recently learned that we actually have 6 affordable housing for seniors in the city already.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. So that's important to know because as y'all all know, we have a growing, aging population.
Yeah.
And they need affordable places to live.
Right.
But I think we have a good quantity already. And I want to look more towards, one of my goals is to try to do more infill housing.
Yeah.
Where we have empty lots that we just need residential on. Instead of, because what you want to see in Victoria or any city is redeveloping properties that already have existing utilities. That way, it's a better return on the city's investment and the better use of city tax dollars, right?
Yeah.
Instead of building out further outside the city limits, right? Because we do have a lot of available properties that we can flip and turn over and make them more and better for the city.
Right. For sure. That makes me think about, you said outside of city limits, but I don't think it's outside of city limits that I recently heard at a council meeting. Were you involved much with that MUD discussion? No, that MUD project?
No.
I don't even recall what MUD stands for, if I'm being honest. Municipal Utility
District.
Right.
Yeah.
I do know.
Yeah.
But I was wondering more about that project, but that's not under your wheelhouse necessarily.
No. That was actually, I think that was out in the ETJ, the land that they were looking at. But they just called up, wanted to be on the agenda because part of the process of getting a MUD district established is to go to council and let them know, have it on the agenda, that type of thing.
Okay.
But we really, at the end of the day, the city really doesn't have, or council doesn't have any say on to whether they can do it or not.
Right.
They can still move forward with the project on their own. They were just
I remember that.
coming to tell us.
They were like, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
We just want to get your blessing in a way.
And I don't know where they're at on that project either.
Yeah. So. I don't foresee necessarily an update since it's not city staff initiated or, working on it.
Yeah.
So I was just curious if you knew anything about that or anything like that.
No, not really.
On the topic of infill land. Cool. So what else?
I don't know if we mentioned last time a little update on downtown stuff. We have the Reformed man that moved in on Constitution Street.
So I know the barber's there.
You do?
Yeah, Creed.
It's such a
Creed.
cool
Shout out Creed.
place.
Yeah.
Such a cool place. I'm excited for them because it gives the dudes a place to go hang out while the ladies go shopping.
That's a good way to look at it.
Heck yeah.
Brings more people downtown so the businesses thrive off of that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we got that. Tipsy Bean is going to be coming online later.
Tipsy Bean?
Yep.
What is that?
So it's a coffee shop in the old box coffee.
Oh, nice.
But I think they also do alcoholic versions.
What?
Yeah.
Like Bailey's or something?
Probably. I don't know, but that's what I gathered from the name. Tipsy Bean.
Wow, that's cute.
So that'll be good. And,
yeah.
That's it for downtown so far.
Yeah.
But now that we have had almost a full year under our belt with the DeLeon Plaza being online, this year is going to be really interesting and fun to see who all plans and programs events in the new plaza. So we already have some on the books ready to come.
That's what I was going to say. Are there any exciting ones that y'all already have?
So far, we've got Chick-fil-A 5K.
Okay.
I think they're the first one out the bag. And then we have the Hot Rod Downtown Rhythms. Hot Rod Tour partnering with Downtown Rhythms, which is really cool because they have like over 100 classic cars that come out, set up around the square. And then Downtown Rhythms has all their music and entertainment with the symphony.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
Last year it was really fun. I actually participated in it with my husband.
Really?
Yeah. And we went on the tour and everything. And to kick things off downtown was so neat.
Yeah.
It was so neat. And have the music and the symphony is just awesome.
Yeah.
They do a great job.
Yes, they do. Yeah. And I was wanting to try, what was it? They recently hosted a concert, and I can't remember what it was called, but Brother Gary asked me, are you going to go? I'm like, no, but now that you mention it, I'm going to check them out. Because I've seen them before, and I just need to make my calendar. You know?
I think
force me to get out a little more.
Upcoming show is all Queen music.
Nice.
So that's fun.
Yeah. When is that?
I think it started on the 25th.
Okay.
So it'll be
January 25th?
Yep.
Okay. Started January 25th.
Yeah.
But it's lasting longer, or how long?
I'm not sure how long it's going to go for. They usually do a couple of shows.
You could check out Joel's website if you want to learn more, I'm sure. DiscoverVictoriaTexas.com. Anywho, well, it's been great talking about new business in Main Street. I always like to ask at some point, and I realize we haven't done this with you, and I know some fun facts already about you because you've shared plenty in our executive team meetings. But is there any that you would want to share now? I'm trying to give you more time to think about it.
About what? Me?
A fun fact.
A fun fact?
Yeah. I already shared mine, and I'm not going to do that again. It was fun.
Well, let's see. Fun fact. Well, last year I got to be on an episode of Yellowstone as an extra. That was cool.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What? I'm going to ask this every single episode because I feel like they just keep getting better and better.
Oh, man. It was such a whim thing, too. I saw it online, and I was like, they were asking for extras to be at Billy Bob's, and all I saw was Lainey Wilson. I was like, we're doing it.
I love Lainey Wilson's music.
Yeah. So
that's
I
crazy.
sent in all the information, and they were like, we want you to come. And we basically got to act like concert goers.
Are you serious?
At Billy Bob's with Lainey Wilson. And then they did some other little side videos of Lainey Wilson and who. This is so sad. I don't even watch Yellowstone. What? I just wanted to go.
Worse.
I just wanted to go see Lainey Wilson.
Okay.
And get paid to do it, which was cool.
Dude, I would have jumped on that.
Yeah.
So my family and I, we make it a tradition. It's funny because every season would come out right around, was it Thanksgiving or Christmas? I think it was Thanksgiving this year. And so we're all together, and it's funny. Someone always brings up, let's go watch the newest season or episode of Yellowstone. Man, I would have burst out laughing and screaming and shouting if I'd have seen you.
Oh, yeah.
I still haven't checked it out, by the way. I keep getting this wire on me. I still haven't checked out that season, so I have no idea. But
apparently it ended up being the last episode of this most recent season.
Oh my gosh.
The girls are letting me know in the office because I watch it all the time.
Oh, man, that is awesome. I don't even know what to ask anymore. It's like a mic drop. Can we drop these mics? Anyways, cool. So what else, anything else that you want to kind of leave this episode with? If there's any viewers who might be listening right now and they might be wondering, well, you know, what can we expect this year from economic development? What can we expect from Main Street? Because you oversee both. What would be kind of that last ditch effort to summarize kind of your goals and ambitions for the year?
Really just focusing on filling those big empty spaces, like Red Lobster, Big Lots, even Bells in the Mall, if I can help advertise that. Always try to do that first before I try to have new stuff build.
Yeah.
There is a developer that's looking to build new stuff. So that will be coming down the pipe, hopefully sometime this year.
Okay.
At least announcement-wise.
Yeah.
But as far as Main Street goes, there's going to be a lot of events. They're going to be working on some small business workshops for everybody. We're going to be teaming up with the Chamber of Commerce on a lot of those.
Yeah.
And, just really focusing on housing and redevelopment.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm still thinking about Yellowstone. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, that's great. Anyways, you'll have to show me that clip.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see us because we're like way in the back.
I feel like there was someone else I saw on my news feed on Facebook that had done something similar.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember who it was. But anyway.
It was cool.
It was a cool vibe.
It was so neat.
Yes. Anyways, well, we'll be looking out for Bell's, Home Depot, and what was the other one? Red Lobster, and kind of seeing what happens there with those properties. And so good luck on all of that. I know you guys work hard.
Yep.
And of course, De Leon Plaza, looking forward to seeing all the different events that come up this year over there. A lot of excitement. I know the public really appreciates the work that was done to build it. Well, hey, it's here, folks. Make sure you go out, enjoy it. Tell your friends, tell your family, support the event organizers and hosts who are putting in the work to give that to you, right? Yep. And so make sure you're going, supporting, and check out our calendar at discovervictoriatexas.com for more information about what is coming up in your area downtown in Victoria. Yep. So with that, I want to say thank you again, Danielle.
Sure, thanks.
Hope you enjoyed our tea.
Yes, it was
while
delicious.
Spilling the tea. And definitely going to have you next time. And I know by then you'll have some big news.
Yes, so excited.
I am too. I can't wait because you're hinting and I'm picking up what you're putting down. Anyways, all right. Well, we'll talk to you next time.